Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel today. My name is Christian and today we are back with another list to end off 2016, and today I'm going to be counting down my 10 worst albums of 2016. All of these records tested my patience for music so much during this year. There was so much good this year and these records didn't bring that year down gratefully, but there are some stinkers that came out this year. So let's get into it with my first pick. Coming in at number 10 is Real Friends with their record, The Home Inside My Head. This is a record that I had little to no expectation for, and it delivered exactly what I thought it would. What it delivered was subpar, boring pop punk that really didn't go anywhere and had me questioning why they wrote it in the first place. Really felt like no effort was put in. The songs were copy and paste, exact same formula songs that were incredibly predictable, and the vocals were whiny as well as the whole record sounding overproduced. And lyrically, it's exactly what you'd expect from this type of record. It's like the vocalist literally went onto Tumblr and just looked up his favorite inspirational quotes and turned them into songs. It's a really, really boring, generic pop-punk record that highlights what is wrong with modern pop-punk. Coming in at number 9 is Good Charlotte with their record, Youth Authority. This record may be the prime example of pandering to a specific audience. This record is made for 10-year-olds and it completely abandons all of their old fans and the sound that made them popular in the first place. This record is again produced by John Feldman, who overproduces the shit out of everything he does. This is a band who at their prime were one of the biggest bands in pop punk, one of the most inspirational. So many bands were formed because of Good Charlotte, and now they are an example of how to lose all your credibility. This record is a massive waste of time and it's got to make you wonder why they bothered getting back together. Coming in at number 8 is Storm the Sky with their record Sin Will Find You. This is a record that really pissed me off purely because of the promise that they showed on their debut record. This album is basically the band going, you know what? Fuck all our fans, fuck what made us popular. We're just gonna do something completely different and not be at all the same band. And that's kind of disrespectful to their fans as well as their label, and it really annoyed me. This band went from a really hopeful, anthemic post-hardcore band into a wannabe 1975 without any of that kind of quality. The vocalist is really exposed on the record, and the style of music that they play on this record really shows his weaknesses. The songs drag on, as does the album as a whole, and the longer songs on the record have no type of musical evolution in there. They just stay at the same pace, the same idea for the entire track. This band had so much promise, and this record has thrown all of that straight out the window. Coming in at number 7 is 6am with Prayers for the Damned Volume 1. Now this is a record that I actually reviewed but never released just because I thought, who gives a shit? This record is so boring and is really the embodiment of the word meh. Sounds like a band that's trapped in their bedrooms in the 80s trying to copy all their favorite bands. To see Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue go this direction is such a disappointment, especially considering that we all know that he can do better than this. The songs go nowhere, everything seems pointless. They even released a volume 2 of this record that after this one, why would anybody check that out? Coming in at number 6 is The Amity Affliction with This Could Be Heartbreak. When I first heard this record, I thought for sure it was going to be at number 1 or 2 on my worst of the years list, and I'm really shocked that it isn't. This record is just basically the exact same record they've released for the last 2. Sounds exactly like Chasing Ghosts and Let the Ocean Take Me. How does a band get away with releasing the same record over and over again? You hear a song like All Fucked Up on this record and you think, how does anybody think this is good? The production sounds like a pop record, the vocals sound like it's coming out of a computer, and the screams sound muffled as anything. There's seriously no positive on this record that I could ever go, oh yeah, you should listen to this record for that song. Do not bother listening to this record. Coming in at number 5 is Set It Off with Upside Down. I was actually going to include this on my biggest disappointments list, but then I realized this is too shit for that. This band had so much promise after Duality, and they just have thrown that completely away. They sound like NSYNC when they were 10 years old and didn't know how to speak properly yet. Sounds like it should be the music from a Disney Channel show from 10 years ago. And the vocals on the record are the real kicker, especially lyrically. So many people have tried to convince me that this is a good record. I'm starting to wonder whether they're listening to the same thing. Coming in at number 4 is the Red Hot Chili Peppers with The Getaway. This is another record that I could have included in my biggest disappointments, but I didn't do that. This record was so long, so monotonous, so boring, and I really started to wonder what the point was. All of the essence that made the Red Hot Chili Peppers great was just sucked out of this record and replaced with mediocre melodies and drum machines. The signature guitar playing was gone. The fucking groovy drumming was gone. The signature sound of Anthony Kiedis' voice was gone. The only thing that was still there from that classic Chili Peppers sound was Flea's bass playing. Anthony Kiedis sounds old, sounds like he can't sing anymore, and his lyrics and melodies are just all over the place. Also, the production job is absolutely awful, lacks any definition or clarity, and just has no weight to it at all. Coming in at number 3 is I Prevail with Lifelines. Just when I thought the Amity Affliction were the worst post-hardcore band on earth, along come I Prevail, and guess what? As you're going to find out later, they aren't the worst either. This is a band that got famous through an absolutely awful Taylor Swift cover and immediately got picked up by a label and shoved into the studio to record an album. So, could the band write any decent music? No. The album is completely all over the place tonally, and it sounds like the band have no idea how they want to sound. The vocals are exactly what you'd expect it to be, and all the lyrics are just so generic and cheesy. There is absolutely no originality on this record, and for me, that's unforgivable. Just when I thought I Prevail were the worst post-hardcore band on earth, along come my number 2 pick, Memphis May Fire, with their record This Light I Hold, sorry. Now, you can repeat everything I just said about the I Prevail record, but add like 2 tons of shit on top of that. Not only are the vocals generic and predictable, but Maddie Mullins has one of the most high-pitched, annoying voices in all of rock music. The whole record sounds like it was made in a computer and just thrown out there without any effort or passion involved at all. It's no wonder a band like this and so many like them are just completely starting to disappear from the music scene. This record really made me lose faith in this genre of music, and I'm really hoping a band come back and show me the light again. And finally, my number 1 pick. As soon as I heard this record, I knew it was going to be number 1. There is no way anybody could top how bad this record is. My number 1 pick is Simple Plan with their record Taking One for the Team. And here we go. The shit flavored cherry on top of a shit flavored cake. It took me 4 attempts to get through this record the first time I sat down to listen to it, and listening to this amount of crappy songwriting is just, it hurts me. This band had so much promise at one stage in their career. The first couple of albums I actually really enjoy, but my god, they went downhill very quickly. This sounds like a bad Disney Channel band, but without any of the fun element to it. Lyrically, I cringe at almost every single line in this album, and there is absolutely no emotion in this record at all. This just feels completely disingenuous and like a complete cash grab. I really cannot stand this band, and the fact that they are still so popular really makes me lose faith in the human race. Yeah, I know it may be brutal, but hey, this is how much I love music. Music like this makes me so angry because there is so much brilliant music out there, as you will see next week when I start counting down my top 20 of the year. But these are the bands, Simple Plan are the band that get pushed by the media and get popular. Simple Plan, simply. Fuck you. Anyway, that is my list. Please remember, this is all my opinion. If you like the records, firstly, what's wrong with you? But, seriously, if you enjoy the records, that's cool. I did not. I thought they were absolutely awful, and yeah. Let me know what your worst records of the year are down below in the comment section, and please hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Fresh Currents.